What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first DickeyDines. Well, I guess not the first, because we did like 3 or 4 podcasts
Yeah,
like 7 years ago.
those are hidden memories. I don't even recall half of those.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing a podcast. We're gonna be doing an episode a week, and then we also are starting up a Patreon where we will have a bonus episode as well as probably some bonus video content as well.
Yeah.
You can check out the Patreon and a link in the description. And yeah, we got a new setup here, obviously. As you can tell, we got some new microphones, and we're going to do it. We're going to be consistent and frequent with the DickeyDines show content. So I'm very excited. But yeah, so
new era is here.
the new era is here, man. We have been talking about a podcast for a little while, and obviously we did try it in the past and then just kind of fell apart. But I think it'll be fun. Obviously, there's a lot of people doing podcasts, but I think a lot of the DickeyDines show anyways is people just like to see how we interact with each other and kind of just hang out with us, regardless of really what we're doing. Like some of the stuff we do is entertaining and fun.
True.
But I think a lot of people just really like to see us interact. You know, you be funny,
Do the big hang.
me laugh really hard at you being funny. So anyways, this is kind of an introductory episode. I have a few ideas that I want to run by you guys, the audience, and you, Austin.
So I'll plug my ears if you want.
Yeah, just the audience. No. So I was thinking it'd be fun to have maybe some kind of like segments to where we don't necessarily have to do them all every podcast.
What about segments?
Do segments.
Dress up like Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And then die. Have a heart attack.
Stop. And obviously we don't have to do every single segment every week, but maybe pick like 5 or 6, you know, and obviously we'll have special podcasts about just very specific things.
The lingerie cast.
I was thinking, yes, exactly. So let me know at home if you guys think any of these ideas would be fun in the comments, and then what you think. So some things we could maybe do is cool new song of the week. Maybe we can kind of showcase some music. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, I can come to the table with a song that came out that week. You can, I really like
always
this
adding
or something.
songs to my playlist, so I got you.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot
Ready.
of fun. And that'd be kind of cool. I had an idea. Okay, so I was hanging out with Jake when I was in the Cayman Islands, and him and Joseph have this like or Josh and Joseph. They have this joke of this this guy, like King Charles II or King Henry. I don't even remember his name.
Some king.
But there was this. There was like this. What's it called when you die and they do an autopsy? They did like the report that comes out after that, essentially, like the autopsy report.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Like autopsy report. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was so funny, and I have to read it to you, just get your reaction to it. But this kind of sparked an idea of something called heinous history.
Okay.
Where we find something in the past that's just ridiculous or like super funny, and then like stuff that nobody really knows about, and kind of talk about it. I thought that'd be kind of fun to do.
My
like
puppet history fans
like something that happened in like the 1600s and just how ridiculous, you know, just so heinous history was another idea. And then this one would be a participation with the audience, but having weekly questions that we ask, like one main question, and then we go through and we pick out the answers and we respond to the answers. That would actually be something I think we should do on the Patreon podcast, where because we want to be really connected to the audience and engaging with the audience, and I think that'd be a little, maybe an extra perk is that we can actually like fully talk to them and like read their questions, and that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Music related or just life related, whatever.
Anything and everything.
Yeah, it might be kind of cool. Did you know where we find like 3 or 4 random facts?
Okay.
And we can kind of talk about music.
Be teaching
music stuff or whatever. It might be just funny stuff. You know, like, oh, did you know that, you know, mayonnaise was invented by Sam Mayonnaise? Or, like, I don't know. Just I think I'm spitballing here.
You know, I get it.
Could be kind of fun.
You know, mayonnaise was made in China.
Was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, we're already starting. This is great. Did you know that porcupines float?
I feel like most animals float.
A lot of them do. I don't know. I think something with the spines made me think it would
I feel like
sink.
they would like land and like tip over and float belly side up.
Just die. We could do music stuff like wild stories.
Okay.
You know, read some stories.
We gotta finish tour stories part 2.
Exactly. Tour stories. We could talk about the shit that we've done. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Something I think would be fun for me to watch you do is, do you remember when, I think it was like one of the first DickeyDines episodes, you did reading that child's book.
Oh, yeah, with impressions?
Doing an impression. I think we could have like a wheel of impressions, because you can do like 25
my wheelhouse has grown immensely since then.
And maybe we could have the viewers submit things that they want you to read in like, you know, in the spin the wheel
impression section. Yeah,
and then, you know, you do some impressions.
Well, for some impression bits.
And then obviously we could, you know, talk about whatever viral moments, clips, music shit, or life shit, whatever.
About venereal moments.
That too. Definitely that too. This one would be a lot of fun, but finding fan fictions about bands and artists, like really terrible fan fictions.
Okay, yeah. I got a couple from about Harry Styles I could send you.
We have our own.
Yeah,
we have multiple
there's a couple
of our own. I think we read one like years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Where I seduced you with my massive hog.
Yeah. Yeah. So that might be kind of fun. And then it might be fun to do some type of challenge. That, like, not something crazy where we'd have to, like, you know,
eat hot chip.
Yeah, something where we do something, you know, on each episode. So, some kind of like
play the knife game.
Yeah, the knife game.
I'm pretty good at that.
Hot chip, you know. Then we could do Am I the Problem? Where viewers would send in situations.
Oh, kind of like r/ Am I the asshole?
Kind of. But it's. I want it to be like engaging with our viewership.
Yeah.
So that might be kind of fun. Like, am I the problem? Or like, is this thing really that bad? Something like that. You know, like cilantro gets a bad rep from people who say it tastes like soap.
Yeah, some people got soap mouth.
You know,
that's a jeans thing. Did you know?
Is cilantro bad? I don't know.
No, it's not that it's bad. It's a jeans.
I also think having a segment called Austin Thinks would be really funny.
Okay.
Where
how's that look?
Where I bring you a topic and you just have to tell me what you think.
I got to do a Bill Burr rant.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Because I think that'd be very entertaining.
Okay, I like that.
So those are just some ideas while we're kind of getting into the flow of the podcast. And obviously, if you guys have ideas of things you would like to see us do, please let us know in the comments down below. And like I said, we will be doing bonus podcasts and bonus video content on our Patreon. So if you want to support us there and see us ramp up content and do consistent weekly content, then we'll definitely very much appreciate your support.
Yeah, subscribe to the boudoir tier, please.
Subscribe to the boudoir tier. So, yeah, I guess let's just jump into.
Let's just jump into.
So I think a good thing to start this would be is Musician Mansion. Something.
What color is it?
What color? No, yeah. So we just, for those of you who may not know, we did an event where I flew, it was like 15 or 16 people from all across the world, really, with Brazil and the UK and Canada and all around the United States, all these musicians, and we got into a house and we did a bunch of challenges and kind of filmed a reality style competition show. I wanted to ask you, like, what was the highlight for you? Because we were there for a week, and the whole premise of the show is that there was 3 bands, 5 people in each band, and then the 3 bands had to compete every day against each other to overcome the challenge and win. And so I was going to ask you, what was from that experience? Because obviously, like, I've never done anything like this before. I don't think you.
I
don't think you have either. It was
truly unique. Yeah.
It took forever to do it. But what was like a highlight for you, and maybe like your least favorite part, something memorable? Just like, what was your experience like with that?
Dude, there's a lot of good shit. I think I don't know. I'm pretty competitive, and I loved being in that like everyday competitive spirit. It was really cool, and like everyone was taking it so seriously, and it just made it so fun. And I don't know, I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like super laid back or people were gonna just like, oh, we're just kind of having fun doing it. But it literally felt like doing like the survivor mode for musicians. It was really cool. I think too, jamming, there was like our practice room that I had with my group was the jam room, and just everybody kept cycling out every day for like hours endlessly. We were just jamming and improving or doing covers, and it was like the coolest shit of just being so isolated for so long, and then just being pure music for 5 days. It was incredible. Meeting those people too. It was, there's always the persona of the online shit, but like seeing that like everybody got along with everybody, and we got to break some harder to break through barriers with people.
Yeah, it was interesting really because like the personalities come out. Yeah, you see people online, you have an idea of who they're gonna be. Yeah, and a lot of times the loud ones online are very quiet. Yeah, in person, it's a little
until they
interesting.
Get a couple shots.
For sure.
Then the environment changes.
100%. But no, the jam room was cool. You guys had the perfect place too. It was right on the side of the front when you first walk in the house. And so I feel like it was just everyone would what's going on?
Hard.
What's going on in
it was awesome. Yeah, the live performance too, I think, was sick as well. Like the song, or can I talk about that? Probably not. Leave that out. Maybe leave that part.
Okay, maybe not.
We're gonna cut that part. I got too excited.
Just because it's not out yet.
Right. I know. I read the comments. I was like, wait, hold on. We gotta be more vague about it.
You could say like the first day or something.
The atmosphere too of everything was so sick, just because. Like I was hanging out with Damien a lot, and he's like not even a YouTuber. He was just like he's like one of our friends. So it was really cool. I was just like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, "Drinking." I was like, "Shit, all right." And I always was just like, "Oh, I'm trying to throw down," and Damien's just like, "I already got one poured for you." Dude.
You know what's so funny about Damien is that I think out of a lot of the people there, he has a very charismatic personality. Yeah, definitely. To where if he were to make content, because he was like only, I think, probably the only person there that didn't make content.
I think so. I think him and Dylan. I don't think Dylan makes content.
Oh, yeah, true. But if Damien made content, I feel like it'd be so funny. But it's also one of those things where it's just his natural personality is, I don't think on camera, you know what I mean? Like, it may not be the same.
Right, it might not translate.
He's just like, he's so wholesomely goofy.
Right, yeah.
That if you like, be funny, like put a camera on him, like just be funny, he might like, well, this isn't natural. Right, like, I want to go outside and and skateboard with a beer. I don't know.
Exactly.
But, it was a lot of fun.
Great atmosphere. It was awesome. Just showing people music too, and just jamming out and talking. Yeah, having some drinks, and the food was fucking busting.
Yes, shout out to Hannah for that.
Chef Hannah, that was.
Dude, we were so understaffed, man. Like,
shout out Vivaldi too. That boy put in some work to help out. It was crazy.
My boy Angel, he was great, man. Like, the only thing I was upset about was that I had to stand next to him the whole time, because he's such just like,
he's like a beacon,
a gorgeous man of shining charisma. And he's such a good dude, and he helped out so much. Really couldn't ask for a better co-host.
Yeah, being like a host is such a different thing than just like talking to a camera or something. Well, it's like a way different approach and feel.
For sure.
And you guys, it's crazy. You guys only like a couple of times were like, let's run that. It was just like most of the time you guys are just like, damn, all right, you guys just killed it, all right, straight out the gate.
Which I never, cool. I kind of had my lines and I would look over it. That's the thing, was like, I had such little time. We were so understaffed that I was like, okay, I have to do this, then I have to go and do this and this and this. Whereas like, I wish I could have delegated more. Right. But obviously the budget, was only what it was, so I could only hire as many people as we could.
Right.
But I had a little bit of time to look over the lines, like 20, 30 minutes in the morning, and then I'm like, okay, well, let's just, because it's one thing to, everyone knows you're filming like a show. Right. And so some of it is, we have to run that take again, maybe, like blah, blah, blah. But I really wanted it to feel like it was just, regardless of the show's outcome, I wanted everyone there to feel very natural, very comfortable, and just flow to where they were just like, oh, this is just fun.
Right. Yeah.
Like we just had a great time, regardless if cameras were here or not.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to talk about the thing in full detail.
Yeah.
That fourth day, I thought I was gonna have an anxiety attack.
Dude, yeah, man. Dude, it's so funny too, Because like the things that you're uncomfortable with are not the things I would think you would be
like
uncomfortable
on paper,
with.
It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're such an outgoing, funny guy.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have to like, and you do so well when you perform on stage, and you're all over the place.
Yeah.
You're you seem like you're very confident.
It's my element. Yeah.
Yeah, you're having fun, and you just you're in the zone. You're flowing. But in certain situations, I feel like when it's like when it's eyes on you, I feel like is maybe when you kind of are like, which is so weird because you do so well in a natural way like that.
I think it's the environment a lot of times too. Like if it's like I'm at a show performing for people that want to see this type of stuff versus like normal ass people who are just like, look at this fucking freak. Like, why don't you shut up, dude? That's like all I can think about is like these people hate me. They're so annoyed probably by what I'm doing.
Oh man, so
I'm bothering the shit out of them.
So you don't want to annoy people. So you feel like if it's not like
I don't like pranking strangers.
Well, sure.
Like that type of
no one.
Which I feel like in my head is like in the similar department. If like I'm being a public nuisance, like I feel bad about it.
Gotcha.
Type of thing. So or like if I like the right environment, like I wouldn't be a weirdo with my jokes if I was around like a bunch of religious people or something. Just out of like respect for the scenario. I try to like play the scenario. So
for sure.
Yeah, I think it's about me reading the environment. Is that if I'm in a place where I'm like these people will hate this, then I'm like, I'm so sorry.
No, I get that. I get that for sure. I don't know. It's just funny because you wouldn't think it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're so good when I guess when people approach you, you have this humor and this charisma that just is so instant. And it's, if you're just a guy outside of a bar or a venue, you're the best person to stand by and come up to and have a conversation with. And you can carry a conversation for miles.
Yeah, and again, that makes sense too because they're coming up to me and now opening a scenario where I'm like, okay, you want to be engaged so I can open up. But most of the time, if I'm in a lineup, I'll probably look mad or something. Like I'm just like by myself, just like in public. I'm like the AirPods in at the grocery store type of guy. It's just like very just to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody asks me, it's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, yo, like, what's going on?
Do you ever feel like you have a hard time if you feel that you have to try to win someone over, whether it's say doing jokes or doing music, if you feel like you're out of place and you're like, oh, this isn't my crowd or these people aren't my friends?
I don't think I feel weird. Usually I just will like chill out and just not.
Gotcha.
Like if like the room is not laughing or something, I'm just like, all right, this isn't the right vibe. I'll just chill. I'll just kind of like recluse a little bit, but not in like a I need to make these people like me. Like, because I do jokes for me most of the time, but it's also like a courtesy. If the room is not fucking with the humor, or if you say like a too edgy joke and everyone gets a little uncomfortable, and like, I'm not going to keep pressing that envelope. Just like, let it chill and just be like, all right, I'll pull back and maybe say more tame jokes to the crowd so that people are not, because I don't want to like ruin the vibe of the evening, or the crowd and make everybody be like, what's this guy's problem? Like,
right. So you're kind of good at like reading the room.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to like go above and beyond like too far.
Yeah, being in a lot of religious homes growing up, I think that you have to be like, okay, they laugh at like fart jokes, you know? Like, so I can do like PG humor to them and they think I'm the funniest guy ever.
Right.
And then, to my stepbrother, I'm like, you see those fucking pussies?
That's fair.
I actually made a school shooter joke to my Mormon sister one time. It was like an impulse. It was just it was like such a good moment. I said it and she like nervous laughed and she's like, "What'd you just say?" I was like, "You laughed. You can't say nothing." And then she was like, "You got me." I guess I can't press this for it. She was about to tattle on my ass, bro. I could see it in her eyes.
Damn, that's crazy.
I could see Joseph in the sky looking down on me. What did you say?
Yeah. It's definitely hard to Dude, like kind of like being the deathcore band at like an indie show would be a similar thing. Shit, You're just kind of like, these people may not be ready for this. I played for like
shit crowds. I can still play. Like, I don't know. I feel because it's like I love music so much. I can just like embrace it and kind of do it. But that's still like the setting of like I'm in a show and performing. Like it feels like art.
You're in your element.
Can, like, really feel. Yeah, it's like nothing else really matters, and I can just zone out and just really become the the character, or not the character, but the person I am when I write. It's like this is me being vulnerable essentially, and it's way easier, and I don't have like any like second guesses in my head of like, oh, these people hate me, or like nobody's moving. Like I'm just like, dude, this is for me, dog. Like,
that's a great way to look at it, because I'll say that it does suck being like the opening band, and everyone's either outside smoking because they're just there to see the
and if you could see people like getting on their phone or like walking out, it can kill you.
Exactly, right. And you have 20 people in front of you, and you're just like, okay, let's warm this up. No one's moving.
The lights are on.
The lights are on. You just feel awkward. You're like, man, this.
Turn down the lights.
You start feeling that like insecure pressure on your chest, and you're just like, oh, dude, like, do they like this? Like, no one's here, no one cares. That definitely is not a good feeling.
Yeah,
for sure. I know I've definitely been there probably hundreds of times with playing local shows back in the day, and it's kind of unfortunately one of those things you just have to do. You just have to kind of get through it, and then eventually, if you're good enough, you can.
Yeah, a lot of like you can definitely win a crowd if you're like a really like commanding front person.
For sure.
And like I respect that. It's like a talent in itself. Like you don't even have to be that great of a vocalist, but if you're a great front man, that can go a long way. And I try to like the approach of like I'm gonna play the music and try to like win them over through what I'm doing and like performance and the music itself, rather than like, you guys should like me, and let the music speak. And if you fuck with it, then awesome. If you're touched by it or moved or whatever, like that was sick. Then cool. But I'm not like biker guy that's not moving, bang your head. It's just not really my vibe.
I've always thought it was so weird and kind of cringe when vocalists would point out one person in a crowd. Look at this fucking asshole on his phone. Get or whatever. Like, hey, yeah, move your head, or
dude,
stop standing still. It's like just let the guy enjoy the show a little bit.
You don't know. What if that guy's got like hearing impairment,
or
he
has like
a chilling, or
he has like a bad back or something.
That guy could be
know.
leaning against that wall because he's like partially disabled. You're just like, move your ass. And he's like, I literally can't.
Please stop calling me out. I just want to enjoy the music.
That cringe reminds me of I find it so beyond cringe when like local level or like not hugely famous bands will do the James Cameron, everybody, like, Steve Jakes, everybody, and like on bass we've got Michael Serotonin.
Oh, the 80s thing.
Yeah, you're like a local show. There's 20 people here, and you're like the bass player Ace Jenkins.
Everyone in the crowd is the kids' friends.
I'm like, do we really have to clap for all 5 of these people right now? Like, just come on, this is insane to me.
Right? Yeah, because like the whole point of that is when you're like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, you're huge, and then you're Taylor Swift, and you want to shout out the background bands to give them like a logo. Yeah, so nice. Like that makes sense at that level.
Right,
right. Lars Ulrich. Oh my God, not like Steve Wilkinson.
Yeah. Well, it's like Slash, and then he does a 9-minute solo.
Yeah,
but it's like the world knows Slash, and they're like, I love Slash. They have spirit. They have spirit,
but it's still and cringe can have spirit. That's fine.
Right. Now, I will say it becomes much less cringy if they do that and the dude just fucking rips.
Kills it.
And just does the most insanely talented thing. You're like, oh, okay, Steve Wilkinson. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And when that day comes, I'll happily clap.
You just haven't seen it yet.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. No, yeah, that's funny. Man, local shows. That's a lot of fun. Dude, it honestly, thinking back to those days makes me miss going on tour. A little bit.
Just a small amount.
Like, the first 2 or 3 weeks of a tour is really fun.
Right.
And obviously it depends who you're with. You know what I mean? If you're with someone or people that you don't vibe with, it's not going to be fun, you know? But if you're with your friends or people that you enjoy at least, then it's so much fun. But yeah, when you start going on like the 2-month-long tours, 6-week tours, then it's a little bit like, I want to shower.
Right.
I want to,
someone in the van
sleep in a bed and
has a phone fight with their girlfriend, and everybody's like,
dude, that's the worst, man. Well, it's also awkward when the band gets in a fight. Because obviously, like we've been on mini tours together, and there's been not between you and I. We've always been really, really good. But other people in the band will fight, or I'll fight with someone in the band, or some. So it's and then you're in a van with these people for 6. Like you can't get away from them. You know what I mean? And you're just like awkwardly sitting there, just like
it's the worst too.
Fuming.
And you're always trying to break the tension too, and just everyone's got their headphones in, and you're just like, So, how about all these planes out here, huh?
Dude, yeah.
Hey, fellas.
Well, that's why it's a great thing to have you on the tour, because there's such a good icebreaker where you just make everyone laugh.
I go crazy if it's quiet for too long. I'm just like, dude, I'm about to lose my fucking mind.
You know what the worst part is when you're the driver and your co-pilot 15 minutes into a 4-hour drive falls asleep. Like, and especially when they're like, oh yeah, I'm wide awake, I'll stay up and keep you company. Co-pilot. Yeah, then 20 minutes into the drive.
Yeah, the co-pilot door opens up, homie's got a pillow with him. I'm like, what are you planning to sleep? Yeah. That's not the point of this.
Yeah. Well, I got you. I was with you for about half an hour. It's like, until I start getting tired and everyone else falls asleep.
Dude, real talk though, I'll take a sleepy passenger over fluff driving. Dude. Oh my God. Dude. I get you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself awake. But I lived in like our dungeon bed that we had. It was the bunk that like if your car goes in water, I'm dead.
Yeah, for sure. You can't get out.
And it was like, it's all peaceful and shit. And then all of a sudden, like, there'd be a switch over and it'd be fluff. And you'd know instantly because you'd wake up in a panic.
Yeah.
Go, because he just would, anytime he got tired, he'd drive over the turtles in the road and the little bumps in the middle of the road and just, and it'd wake him right up, but it would wake everyone else up.
Dude,
and also you'd be going 95.
That's what I was about to say. Like, the worst part, I have not felt
ever.
I have not felt fear like laying on the floor of a van when he is driving through mountains.
Yeah.
Because you're going like this, you're twisting and turning with a trailer in a van that's loaded, very heavy. He's going 90 and he's turning to the point where I'm in the middle on the floor of the van and I slide to a side where my head is like hitting the door and you're like, are we going off a fucking cliff?
Yeah, is the gear also doing this? Are we all gonna just tip over the mountain?
It is the freakiest fucking feeling. It's like being in a plane that just suddenly goes and drops from turbulence.
Now imagine that plane scenario, but you have a blindfold on. That's what being in the bottom bunk was. That happens, but it's complete dark.
Imagine being half asleep or almost asleep and suddenly just you're going and you're in the mountains.
The earth is breaking in half right now.
And it's like, oh my God, dude. Like,
was so fun. And also too, if you were up front like you guys were usually, he would also have both the windows completely down to like have the cold air keep them awake,
which froze us all.
Yeah,
like I
gotta have your habits.
I'll give him that because you're the driver. If you need that, that's fine. Like, Fluff does
going 90s crazy.
Fluff does so many good things when he's on tour. Driving is not one of them. I will never ever miss him driving.
Yeah, like you said, it's one of like when I think of fear, I think of like that.
Yeah,
those moments where you wake up and you're just like,
yeah,
like this is it. I'm fucking dead, bro.
Dude,
no.
The worst part is that we didn't have a driver for a lot of our tours, which I think is a number one no. Right. I think every band should have a designated driver who has a sleep schedule to where if you have to drive through the night, because what would happen with us is we would drive, 6 hours or 8 hours to the next venue, load in, and then we'd have a couple hours to hang out and get food, and then we'd play and then load out, and we wouldn't get finished loading out until midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes, because it was a 5-band bill, and we were like 4th or 5th or whatever, or headlining. And then we would all have to decide, okay, which band member is driving after doing that hour performance, tired, sleep deprived already. Okay, who's going to drive 6 hours through the night and stay awake?
Two of the guys are already asleep.
Yeah, exactly. And then two of the guys are like, well, I drove 2 days ago. And it's like, well, I just drove.
I got the totem last night. I'm immune.
yeah. It's like Survivor, right? Dude, that is the worst, man. Like, I think, and it's dangerous because you're so tired. Everyone's tired. Yeah. And you have to drive at least 4 hours to even, if you're, say, stay at like a Roach Motel. Right. The nearest one is 4 hours away. Or you have like a slave driver who's like, we have to drive the entire 7 hours and we won't stop until we get there. Okay, well then you drive.
I don't know.
You can drive. I don't want to drive.
I'll give you a 3 hour.
I would say yes. Advice to anyone that's touring: come up with the extra money. Pay your friend $1,000 for a few weeks to just let them drive. Because the band performing, you don't want to be. If you're like a small local band trying to go on tour, it's not fun unless you're doing a short, like a close tour, right? If you're playing like Washington, Oregon, California, and then like maybe Arizona, you're doing like 7 shows, whatever.
Right.
That's not that big of a deal. If you're going all across the country,
you want a guy,
dude,
or a gal.
You definitely want someone to be driving because it's not fun. That part sucked. And so like when Fluff would then be driving at 2 a.m. and I'm like dead tired trying to sleep, and the van is just like doing this left and right and left. He's going like 95, and I'm like, dude,
he's turning like a cartoon where it's like peeling off on 2 wheels. And
dude,
he's like,
yeah. Dude, there were times, man, where I was like, is this van on 2 wheels right now? This is crazy.
If anyone finds it, typing your note.
Oh, I mean, to his
when we got there,
we got there and he never crashed. Like, I will say that, but
it did come with trauma.
It was scary.
I'll go on any roller coaster before I get in the back of that man's car again.
Yeah, no, it's pretty wild. But yeah, touring's fun, man. Like I said, I kind of do. Well, it's fun for a few weeks. I think that's my thing. Is I think it's really fun for 2 or 3 weeks. Once you start going past that, then I guess it also depends on like what you have at home, like what your home life is like. If you're just if you have nothing at home and you're like, I have nothing else to do, then sure, go on the road for 6 months. If you have a family or a house, or you have a job at home, or you have a bunch of shit you have to do, it's like, man, if I can't be gone for this long, and like I have so much I need to get done, which was always like, that's the main reason why I left Restropose in the first place. Before it became Dragged Under, was just like Tony just wanted to tour, and I get it. Like, obviously they're killing it right now because of that, but it's like, man, I got so much shit that I have to do.
I couldn't imagine touring that much.
Like, you want to be gone 8 months out of the year, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that. But I do miss it sometimes. But again, I don't miss just the tour. I miss like the touring that we did. Where it was me, it was you, it was, Tony and Fluff and it was the group, it was like all Vince when he did the, the first tour or whatever. Josh, that shit was. The door. I look back on that, man, and I was like, there was still so much like shit that happened, and so much like not drama, but just like shitty moments, of like, oh, we show up at the venue and there's no sound system and we have to pay $500 to play. God, I forgot about that. It's like, no, we're leaving. Sorry.
God, that tour with Killing the Messenger.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was in Idaho or something, or no, that was like Washington.
It was
Eastern.
It was like the very tip of,
it's like Spokane,
edge of Washington.
Walla Walla,
it was it was tiny little town, and it was fucked.
It looked like it was straight out of like
taco bar
a Mexican cartel movie.
Yeah, totally.
Like the entire parking lot was shattered glass. It was just, this is not a great place to be.
Which I fucking fell into.
Which you fell into, yeah. But I mean, even moments like that where it's like not what you expect it to be, there were so many fun memories.
Yeah, that was tour's great. It's awesome. But like I think depends on which crowd you're with. Like, I've done a couple months, like over a monthers, and it really matters on the group of people you're with, or if there's a weak link and it's like, are you gonna make this hard for everyone? We're gonna have to kill your ass.
We don't want to leave you in Tulsa.
There's a reason that you hear so many of those stories of just like, there's always the guy who's like, yeah, dude, it was out of nowhere. They just left me on the side of the road. I'm like, I don't think anybody just gets left on the side of the road.
Right. Well, there might be someone.
I'm saying there's a reason. It doesn't just randomly happen.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot our vote. It's like, fuck you, dude. You're staying here.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I remember that tour with Tanner where Tony left him at the hotel.
I can't believe he's dead now. Just kidding.
I was about to say, am I finding this out for the first time?
I wouldn't be that crude.
No, I haven't talked to him in years. I hope he's well.
No, I mean,
I never had a problem with him. I understood that like the issue that we had with him.
It was a solid reason.
Yeah. But also the way it was done was like, damn, that's really rough.
Yeah.
Like, we did give him a plane ticket. It's not like we left him at a hotel. For those of you who may not know, we had a singer. We were on tour, and he wasn't taking care of his voice, and he was warned like 1,000 times, stop drinking, stop smoking. He wouldn't do it, and it was affecting his voice. And the shows were just like he couldn't perform. And then so, I think it was Tony and Fluff, or Tony's idea. We
all know whose idea.
Tony's idea to continue the tour without him. But Tony was like, I wouldn't say he was scared, but he was like kind of nervous that he would react poorly and start a fight. And Tony didn't want to get in a fight.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And so that was his main reason. He told me, he was like, dude, is like, I don't think we should continue this tour with Tanner. I can sing, like, we'll backtrack the bass and we'll just finish this. And Tony can sing, which we found out.
I bet Tony's so good at calling the cops.
He definitely killed it.
I'm scared. I feel threatened.
But yeah, I left him at a hotel and left him a plane ticket, which was for like 4 hours. So he was only at the hotel for like 4 hours. Did we give him a Kit Kat bar too? Did we?
No.
I don't remember. But I remember we drove away and I was like, damn, like that blows, man. Yeah. Like that's kind of fucked up. And he kept like spam calling all of us. And I remember, I think I was texting him because he was texting me first. And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, I have nothing to do with this. Like they all, like Tony and whoever, decided like, you know, this is what to do. I didn't even really know like how this was going to happen. And like, I'm, you know, I'm
it was
sorry
a bummer situation.
Yeah,
it was just unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate.
Not a fun moment for anyone, but it is to reminisce on. It is like, that's kind of wild.
That's pretty wild. Like, it was very wild.
The few tours I've done, like, that's like, damn, I've never seen that happen.
No.
But I've also never seen somebody who's like, I've got laryngitis and then smoke a cigarette.
Right. Yeah, that was the issue.
Yeah, I don't think it was going to help.
Did he say he had laryngitis?
He said it was some sort of throat
bronchitis
thing. Yeah, bronchitis. It might have been bronchitis.
And then
I remember specifically outside of the hotel, he was like, yeah, look, I Googled this. And it was just like a Google image of like a diagram of somebody's like cut in half head. And it was like, bronchitis.
If this part
I got this, I swear.
I remember that, dude.
It was like, you're literally smoking a cigarette. I got bronchitis.
Dude, yeah. It was rough, man.
Yes. Well, yeah. I wouldn't want to be his lawyer in that scenario is all I'm getting at.
No. Like, wouldn't look good in front of a jury.
It's a bummer that happened, but also like, they didn't help your case.
Well, that was kind of like the same situation with Vince that we had, was that he was a great singer, but same kind of thing, smoking and drinking the whole time. And then, at least he got home before before Tony and Fluff kicked him out.
On the tour. A little nicer.
Yeah, geez. But anyway, long story short, even with all the drama or whatever might happen, I think everyone should go on tour at least at some point. Even if it's just 5, 6. Everyone.
Your little
Even if you're not a musician, go on tour. Just do it.
Send your juggling cousin on tour.
A lot of bands need merch people, so just be a merch person. It's so much fun. It really does feel like when you come home from a great outing like that, you're like, damn, I traveled, I played in front of people, I did what I love doing, it was super fun, and you have all these, like, 7 years later, I think back to like, man, those are some of the best times of my life. It's just like hanging out with my friends and playing music and just doing, and I think the coolest thing about it back then for me was like, I had no idea like what was going to happen from any of it. You know what I mean? We were just doing it to do it. It wasn't like a plan of like, oh, we're going to do this and then we're going to get signed and we're going to play arenas. It was just like, man, we're just playing, like, at least for me.
Playing cities we've never played. Like, I hope people come.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you'd be surprised at, the turnouts and or cool lack thereof, depending.
The people that like found the music from like YouTube or stuff too. That was cool. There's always like a unique like connection of people because it's like they watch the content also, so, and it feels like a little more interpersonal a lot of the times.
Dude, I felt so bad because you were the merch guy, like for most all of the tours, and dude, you had no escape from people that would come up to you.
Yeah, which is
and that's fine.
And it's treated like shit by a couple people on the tour, exactly for no reason.
Oh yeah, totally. Which is fine that people come up to you, but when they linger for an hour and they continuously are trying to engage with you after, and the thing is, you're trying to do something. You're talking to people, you're grabbing shirts, you're doing merch, and then you have someone pointing their phone in your face. Have you seen this video? Can you watch this 5-minute video? And you're like, no, man, I can't. And then 2 minutes later, hey, dude, check out my Scream. It's like, hey, man, you're cool, but like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I hate being rude to people, so I'm always trying to be like very like,
dude, I would look back.
For sure. Like, I got to do this though, and then just be like, wait, okay, I'll wait. And I'm like, the show's happening.
Yeah,
in the
I
want to
watch
Why
the show. Yeah, dude, I would look back and I would see you, and I would see you with like 6 kids standing around you. I'm just like, oh. I'm so sorry, dude. You had no escape because we could at least go in the green room. But the merch is being sold all night long.
You gotta be there.
So you kind of have to be there the whole time.
And no matter what band I've been in, nobody wants to be the guy that texts and says, "Hey, do you need a break?" to the merch guy. Nobody's thinking about the merch guy, or like worried if he's had lunch, or if he's or if he's worked an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
While you guys are just sleeping in the green room. That's like every band I've ever been in, being the merch guy. I'm like, I'm going to have to like text or call the group 8 times because they've forgotten. Like they've got their own shit, and I am not in their head right now.
That's why Fluff knocked the cookies out of your hand, because he had no respect for you, because you were a merch guy.
For real, that was fucked up. It was like an animated cartoon, like a poorly written bully. You're like, nobody would actually do that. It's like they weren't just cookies; they were homemade gluten-free cookies brought by a mom who their kids loved.
Yeah,
us.
tell them the story. Tell them
So it was in New York, and I don't know. Have we not told this one on here before?
I'm not on a podcast.
Oh, this is funny. Okay,
Let's go for it.
We were in New York, and this was a weird setup because the show was like in the main room, and then there was like 2 doors you had to get through to get to the bar, and then that's where the merch stuff was. So I was nowhere near the show, and so I was stuck with kids. There was one kid who was just like playing Pokemon Go at me the whole night, and he was just like, "I just gotta chime in." I was like, "Fuck yeah, bro!"
This was in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
I think it was Brooklyn.
Yeah. I think his name is Kevin, and he's like, "You have Pokemon Go also? Can I add it?" He gave me some gifts, and he was a cool kid, but it was just like, this is weird. He was just standing here. But I got Snorlax just now. And that was the same show where that kid ate fries off my plate, just like out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't that happen multiple times in like different places? Like people would
I think it was
ask
just
you for food.
People would ask me for food. That was the only time that somebody has just been like, yoink.
And you don't know this kid.
No, I was the first time I've ever met him, and he was doing that. He was doing that thing the whole show. He's just next to me, and then I got a plate of fries with some ketchup. That was my meal.
What's your ration?
And he was like, and just like zoinked one, and I was just like, that's wild, bro. I ain't never seen somebody just like
zoink a fry.
Yeah, just right in front of me, and he's like, I giggled about it. I was like, I don't know how to react to this. I'm just all right, sure. And then there was this really nice family. It was the husband, the mom, the dad, the mom. And then 2 kids, and the 2 kids like were big fans of our stuff. And
I remember
the mom was like so sweet about it. She's like, "Oh, our kids talk about your videos all the time, and they're like, they love that you guys make like metal funny, and it helps them like come out of their shell." And I was like, "Oh, how touching!" Like it was very sweet. And then she was like, "Yeah, I made you guys cookies too." She made a plate of normal cookies, and then she knew I was gluten-free at the time, so she made a batch of gluten-free cookies for me,
which is so over the top.
And even more so, they brought a cooler, like they bought a styrofoam cooler, filled it with ice, and brought kombucha for us too. And had iced kombucha for me. And it was like, man, what a nice thing. And then at the end of the show, we're loading everything out, getting into the van, like about to get in the van. We just finished like loading up, and it was like, all right, we're about to go. And I'm holding my little tray of cookies, like my first day of school. And it's like, my mommy made these. And then just middle of conversation, just Fluff's just standing there, not saying anything, holding his backpack like a fucking dork. And he just goes, boom, and just smacks the cookies up and out of my hands, and it like opens in the air, and it's like unfixable, like there's nothing I can do to catch these. It's just like raining down crumbs, and it hit the ground, just ruined. None of them land in the basket. They're all fucked, and it's just like, and then he did the thing he does when he texts, bah ha ha. He did it in person. He went bah ha ha ha, and nobody else laughed, and everyone was like. They're like, is this a bit? Like, are you guys in on this? And because they probably saw me, and I was just like, dude,
my cookies.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You already had someone stealing your fries.
Yeah, I got my little treat. And then
you just didn't eat that day.
Just fucking for no reason. It was just like, why? I think I genuinely just looked at him and was like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's like,
because it's funny, dude.
And he was like,
we're buddies.
And he walked away and a trombone played. Yeah, I was like I've been bullied before, but that was like a cartoon. I was like, what do I do? I've never had anyone be this rude to me before. Just like, what? You just smacked my shit, dude.
Yeah, because on top of
and they were homemade.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they're homemade, and you only had fries that were half eaten by someone else,
and was babysitting all night as well.
that was like your dopamine hit at the end of the night. And he was like, nope.
Yeah.
All gone.
I still ate a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the New York streets. Oh, you had to try it at least.
Damn.
It's just like, dude, that's the nastiest thing anyone's ever done.
That's crazy, man.
That was crazy. like a car is like Gargamel.
That's
just like,
wild.
You're gonna eat the Smurfs? Like, it's fucked up, dog. Why?
You can't do that.
This is rude for no reason.
Why would you do that?
It's like not even a point. Like, at least the bullying can be funny. That was just mean.
Yeah. God, that was a fun tour. That was the Safari tour.
Yeah.
That was the one that was like
great artwork for that one.
6 or 7 weeks.
Best I've seen.
Dude, I'm still so upset because we hired a video guy who I shan't name to come along the whole tour with us and film a documentary. And he got probably like 30 or 40 hours of footage of interviews, live shows, like
candid moments,
all the candid moments, everything you would ever want from a really sick documentary.
Yeah.
And then just never did it.
Yeah, it must have been a file corruption thing. I feel like there's no reason that he shouldn't have finished it.
It was like, it was like, so how's that documentary going? It's like, well, you know, I'll just need like a week or two. And then a week or two would come. So, well, yeah, it's just I'm getting hung up on this or that. That went on for like a year.
Right. You just need to splice some audio. And like, you think it takes like 10 minutes?
And then I think Tony finally was like...
He's like, let me see it.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember what happened, but essentially just there wasn't... Yeah, like either something happened with the footage or he just couldn't... He couldn't sit down and edit it. And then I remember Tony was like, well, since you didn't do that... Because we paid him to do it.
Right.
He's like, well, since you didn't do that, do a music video for my band.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, well, completely different band, but okay, Tony, I guess you can just have a free music video.
I think that was the video, too, where Tony gave me a fucking concussion. He bounced my head off the
That was the one he
garage.
filmed in my house.
Yeah.
Or, the house at the time. He's like, well, free video, free location. Life's pretty good for Dragged Under. This is awesome.
Sorry about the doc.
Oh, we're signed now? See ya, Jared. Fucker. No, Tony's great, but no. Yeah, that was a fun time. I'm so upset though, because like I would have loved to have for my own, you know, obviously we would have posted it and like a rock and roll band documentary,
right? Yeah.
But like just for my own memories of looking back, you know, 6-7 years later and been like,
it's nice to have that.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The things you just don't remember.
Yeah, people still go back to like the Day to Remember tour vlogs.
Oh,
and
for
Parkway
sure.
Drive, OG ones,
and it's just non-existent, and
it's a bummer.
And who knows why?
Lost media, dude.
Surely not I.
It's a bummer.
Not I knows why. But yeah, it is what it is. A lot of fun times. You're doing some tours in your band, right? Dark Watch?
They're more like
small ones.
Yeah, I don't even know if I feel comfortable calling them tours. They're like
mini tours.
Yeah, they're like like a run, like a 3-day run or something. Yeah, we did one with Extortionist, and then we were trying to get on a little run with Paleface, but it ended up not working out. But yeah, we got a couple cool shows. Or right now we have one show. We were gonna have a couple, but Vinny out of the country. We were gonna play with Left to Suffer, but we had to pull off that one. Unfortunately, it's Left to Suffer and Distant. But the show that we did get on is Signs of the Swarm To the Grave.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I don't think To the Grave's ever been here before, so that'll be cool.
That's pretty cool. Are you guys planning any tours coming up or not yet?
No, we want to get our shit out first that we have. We're like sitting on kind of like a lot of content. We just need it to be finished. And once that's done, then we're going to get the ball rolling on like the live shows again and stuff, and like more merch and new CD and all that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
we got who else cool needs merch? DickeyDines.
Dude, for how many years?
We need some merch,
how many
dude.
Years? How many good quotes?
We'll get some. We'll get some.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, we'll start taking it a little more seriously. Well, the thing is like we probably did what, maybe one or two.
It was one
merch runs.
The one shirt with the
like.
We did Keelan Alice, so too.
Well,
that's not DickeyDines.
That's not really DickeyDines.
But like, two shirt runs together because we did that on a white shirt.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the other one. The one.
No,
the fan.
it was we did do this one. Yeah. You know what's? I have a really funny story. Not so much funny for me, but funny for you and the audience, I'm sure. So we did do. It was one run, right? Like 100 shirts. Right. I think we did of this design. So if you have one, hold on to it. And they came out looking ugly.
Yeah,
like
like
our skin was yellow
the
and
eyes
it was
were
weird.
Yellow. Yeah.
I don't remember who printed them, but it did not come out the way we wanted.
Yeah, well, we did get them off jaundice.com, so it's probably our fault.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I was at home, and I don't really do this anymore. Well, I don't
go to home.
Yeah, I never go home.
I'm no longer at home.
I was partaking in some of the shroomies. And I took a little too many and had like the worst panic attack I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah. I took 12.
Oh my God. 12
like caps? No, cap and stem.
Oh my 12 like full mushrooms.
12 full mushrooms. Because I had
You're trying to meet God.
No, yeah. So the thing is I've always heard like these stories about him. Oh, you know, the walls are moving and the crazy colors and visuals. And I'm like, well, I've had like 1, I've had 2, I've had 3, and I think I had 4 at one point, and I never got any of that. Like I never.
So you're like, I need to take a bunch.
No, it just felt like a normal kind of
like
weed,
a buzz almost,
like a weed edible a little bit, but I was awake. Right. It was like it didn't make me tired, but it was very similar. So I was like, I just want
you had like a microdose, basically.
Yeah, kind of
like essentially.
So I was just like, I want to see what this is. You know what I mean? And so I took a bunch, and I don't recommend doing this, but I had like the worst. It was actually kind of like experiencing every human emotion in the span of 2 hours, because it would be like panic, I'm gonna fucking die, sadness, like euphoric happiness, sadness, darkness, depression, happy, like
the spectrum.
And I was just going like this.
Are you
like,
sure someone wasn't just holding that Charles Manson video up your face?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. No, but it was just like, and I was just going like, phew, and I actually I didn't see the walls move, but I had this this glass, and it had a skull butterfly on it, and I was laying on the floor, and it was right next to me, and I looked at it, and the wings were pulsating, and I was like, okay, I've seen stuff, I've seen the visuals, I'm good now.
I tap.
Anyways, so my point to this story is that when this initially, and I was living with a couple people at the time, when it hit me, it hit me hard,
right?
Like so hard, I couldn't feel my fingers. Like my eyes were starting to like dim and go black. I thought I was like going to die.
Oh my God!
And so they called 911.
Oh no!
Because I was like, kind of freaking out a little bit. I wasn't screaming or going insane, but I was just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. And I was just like freaking out. It was way too much. So the EMTs or the paramedics show up, and they're like, oh, you know what happened? They tell him, oh, he had some shrooms. I think he's just having a bad trip or whatever. So they, I'm like laying on the ground looking up, and I'm laying there, and there's like probably 4 or 5 of them around. They check my heart. They do my blood pressure. Like, well, you seem fine, man. Like, your heart's fine. Like, we don't release anything, like blah, blah, blah. And they just talking to me, like trying to comfort me, which helped a lot. Just feeling like, oh, if something happens, someone can take care of me.
Right.
Like have basically a trip sitter.
Guy with the EpiPen,
but it's the ambulance,
don't pass
out. So one of those guys saw this, is my point. He saw this on my wall, and he says, I have a shirt like that.
No way.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And mind you, I'm like full blown like tripping. So I'm thinking like, I'm hearing shit. Yeah, I'm thinking like there's no way. And I was like, what shirt? What do you mean? And he's like, that picture, that painting, the DickeyDines show. He's like, my wife bought me a shirt with this image on it, and I have it at home. And I literally said, you're fucking lying to me right now to make me feel better to get out of this. And he's like, dude, I don't even know what that is, but like my wife bought me a shirt.
That's so fucking
And he was
wild.
like 5-6 years ago. And he's like, I've had it since.
Whoa.
And I was like, no fucking way.
That's so weird.
The ambulance that showed up, one of the EMTs had one of our DickeyDines shirts.
Who buys their partner, orders them a shirt from a YouTube channel they've never heard of?
Yeah.
That is the wildest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so then as he was leaving...
He just has a DickeyDines shirt. He has no idea
he just has
a
DickeyDines shirt. So as he's leaving, he's like, well, man, like, I hope you feel better, and, because I told him, I was like, well, yeah, it's from a YouTube channel I do with my friend. He's like, well, keep making content, man. He's like, I'm sure that's tough. And I'm like, well, yeah, every 2 or 3 years this happens. Typically, I have a nervous breakdown. See you in 3 years. I said something like that. I was like, yeah, if you're still here in 3 or 4 years, I'll see you.
Yeah, bring that shirt next time.
Yeah, bring that shirt.
I'll sign it
but I was like, you're fucking lying, dude. There's no way. He legitimately did.
Imagine that guy. He's like, no fucking way.
Yeah, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
unprompted. I didn't talk to him at all. He just was in the background, and I hear this voice, and he was like, oh, I have a shirt of that picture. And I remember just being like, what picture? I thought it was just like a picture of like, because I had
turn around, he's showing a selfie with you.
I didn't know what he talking about, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the DickeyDines thing." He's like, I have a shirt of it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
So fucking funny.
Yeah, the most like the place you don't want to get recognized is when you're having a huge panic attack off of shrooms, someone's like, "Oh, my wife's a fan."
And you're like,
it's like,
don't tell her.
Don't, please don't.
Can you sign my shirt?
But yeah,
that's so funny. Also, too, like without context of who we are, this shirt is just like gay as hell.
Like, it's just so weird.
You just bought
it
for your husband. Like it just looks like a twink and a bear. Like it's just like, hey, honey, I thought of you when I saw this fucking gay ass shirt. It's just like, oh, cool. Yeah, I love it.
Thanks.
It's so funny. What is the? It was the 911 thirst responders.
The thirst responder, yeah. Oh, I love this shit. No, it was, funny story for him, I guess. Probably went home and was like, honey, you'll never guess. You'll never guess. But yeah, so that's a fun story. I have so many stories like that I've never talked about because they're just like awesome. Really personal.
Right, yeah.
But I guess this would be a good place to do it.
The podcast personal.
Anyways, I think we've probably been about an hour around, so we'll try to keep this to about an hour. So this is I
haven't got to geek out about Eldritch yet.
We'll get there. Yeah, so I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. The time flew by, which is always a good sign. We'll have lots of stuff to talk about. If there's things that you guys want to see us do on this podcast or things you want us to talk about, you can leave comments down below. Or like I said, the Patreon that we're doing is where we're going to be interacting the most with people over there, and we'll have bonus podcasts and bonus content. We'll have a tier list of things that we'll do for people who do subscribe to our Patreon, and link in the description below if you want to check that out and help support us. We're going to be doing a DickeyDines show every Monday, and then a podcast every Thursday, and then a bonus podcast and probably maybe a bonus DickeyDines show on the Patreon as well per week. So we're really amping up the content.
Wow, look at all that content.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And so if you enjoy this, let us know. Hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll have to have guests on, too. I think definitely have some guests. Yeah. People coming through town and bands or whatever.
Yeah, we got to have people on here I can interrupt with bad jokes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.
Curse ye all. Damn you to hell.